Good day, everyone. I hope everyone is well. My name is Hlumela Kunene, and I've been tasked to do this reading for day 197, which comes from the book of Proverbs, Proverbs 10, 11, and 12. So, if we just get a bit of a history into Proverbs. So, Proverbs is a Hebrew word that means to govern or to rule. So, basically, Proverbs is a book that gives us a blueprint on how to govern ourselves more than a central authority governing us. Not that a central authority is not important, but it is more important that we learn to govern ourselves on a day-to-day. So Proverbs gives us that blueprint of being able to say, how do we handle the day-to-day situations? How do we live with other Christians? How do we build relationships, whether it's on a personal basis in our homes, or it is in the workspace, or it is just general relationships with people we meet on a day-to-day basis, as well as so Proverbs is written in a literary forms, whether it's in poems or it is in the form of parables or just sayings that will govern day-to-day life. As well as it is a book that is used to teach people discipline, to teach people wisdom, to teach people to be discerning, but more than just discerning, but also for people to be prudent when it comes to the word of God and to their day-to-day doings. So now let's go directly to the word that I'll be looking at for today. So that word for me comes from Proverbs 10, which says that the blessing of the Lord make one rich and it adds no sorrow. So the word of God does not come with strife. It does not come with hurting anyone or causing trouble to anyone, but it is a word that comes in peace. Hence, the produce that it brings is produce that comes and that brings good things with it. As it says in the book of James 1:17, that all perfect, paraphrased obviously, that all good and perfect gifts come from above and they come from God. And that's what the book of Proverbs tries to teach us. It teaches us wisdom, that in gaining or attaining good things on a day-to-day basis, it is basically us following this word of God, reading this word of God, meditating on it. It is not to remove us from things that we would want to do, but it is to say, let us be guided in the things that we want to do. Let us have wisdom and discernment in the things that we want to do. And as we know that we all need wisdom actually in all stages of our lives, we need wisdom. We need wisdom in, for example, in this time, in the season of Corona. How do we live in the season? How do we carry on in the season? We need wisdom in how we're going to go back to a new normal, as we put it. How do we navigate those seasons? Basic things, how we just run our lives on a day-to-day basis, where there may seem to be areas that are foggy. God still relies on us to say that, you know what, God, I may not understand this area, but the wisdom to handle ABC situation comes from you. And that's how we should be. That's how we should want to grow in the word of God, to say that in every situation, in every challenge, may we continue to rely on your word. May we continue to want you. May we continue to dwell and to delve into this word. And then again, it just reminds us again in Proverbs 10, again, verse 8, it says that the wise in heart will receive commands, but a parting fool will fall. So it also reminds us of the condition of the heart, that as we receive this wisdom, as we receive these nuggets on a day-to-day basis, what is the condition of our heart? Which is another thing that we need to check and say, God, we want wisdom, but also let the condition of our heart be ready to receive your word, be ready to receive your teaching, be ready, as it says in Proverbs, to receive your discipline and your guidance in everything that we do. So I pray that as we continue reading this book, as we continue delving with it, it really is a practical book for us, that we really do and seek after this word and say, God, I've read this word. How do you want me to apply it? How do you want me to use it? Or how does it link up with other scriptures and other books in the Bible? Why is this wisdom so important? So for us to just understand, oh God, why is it important to walk in wisdom? Why is it important to walk in discipline? Why is it important to walk with in a place of discernment and say, God, we need discernment for the situations. And also just to live in a place that says that when we receive your word, our hearts are willing, our hearts are open, because sometimes the wisdom and the discipline and the teachings do not come easy, but they should come at a place where we say our hearts are receptive constantly to your word, constantly receptive to the good things that you want to do in our lives. And that will require wisdom. That will require not just an earthly wisdom, but that requires a wisdom that comes from above. So I pray that we continue to seek a wisdom that comes from above for our day-to-day lives, for each and every moment that we pass through, just to say, God, this is us, and we seek you and we want you. Give us the wisdom for the day-to-day that we take. Amen.